beautiful day in this hollow earth. A beautiful day for a hybrid. Do they shift shape? Boy, I feel great. Won't you be my cousin? Good morning, everybody. All my creative cousins throughout this hologram multiverse. Welcome to the most important meal of the day, y'all. Shrimp for breakfast! Ew! Let's get a gargle, y'all. We got this strong black cup of coffee to get us going. Oh, yeah, let's go. And we don't have the dank homegrown greens today because I am taking a little tolerance break, y'all. Even a superhuman hybrid ultra terrestrial like myself takes tolerance breaks to get a little reset so that those greens keep doing their job. You know what I'm saying? Hey, woo! Feels good to be back. Long weekend, and boy, was it a doozy. Boy, was it a doozy. If you've been following along in our bad luck and trouble saga, we've got more of it here, y'all. We've got more. Over the weekend, Athena had her Stowe Arts Foliage Festival, I think it's called. It's a big craft fair show in Stowe. And Athena's been preparing for it all year. It was like $800 to be in the show. It was a juried show, so she had to get picked for the show. And then she, you set up a booth, and she spent, she's invested multiple thousands of dollars in her booth setup. She had gone and set everything up. She was in a huge tent. There's all these different tents, and she's in this giant main tent that's like the size of a football field. And set up Thursday night and, didn't leave her jewelry there, thank God, because, it's valuable and she didn't just want to leave it there, even though you can leave your wares overnight in the tent. It's all weekend. So gets set up Thursday, goes in Friday. Friday's the first day. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Has a good day on Friday. Then as she's getting up to go in on Saturday morning, news comes in that the giant tent has collapsed. Now, the bright side, people weren't in it at the time. The dark side, everything in it is crushed. It's like a giant, with the circus tent with the big pinnacles and all that, giant poles and stakes. And, this thing's massive, so it's heavy duty. And it's supposed to withstand 80-mile-an-hour winds, and somehow there was some malfunction. The big tent collapses. There's other people camping there. There's other tents. There's smaller tents set up. Those are all fine. Somehow this big tent collapses, just crushing everybody's stuff. Again, thankfully, Athena wasn't there. Thankfully, her jewelry wasn't there, because that would have been just absolutely devastating. It would have been smashed and strewn and everything. But yeah, unfortunately, she got there. She let us know. We came in, I drove in, and she had been picking up her stuff, and I helped her get it, and I helped her bring it back. She's just really devastated. Her whole setup was crushed. Her booth is crushed. All her stuff was kind of lost. That was there. So she lost thousands of dollars there. She lost thousands of dollars in revenue that she would have. She was hoping to walk away with $5,000+ for the weekend. Instead she walks away, wiped out from this, which is very rough. So we put a little post up, and big shout out to everybody who shared the post, supported, put in some orders. If you want to help Athena out, go over to, I think it's AthenaBanditJewelry.com. you can look on my Instagram page, and there's a little video of her at the site of the event, and kind of describing what had happened in the moment. You can click on that, and you can find her profile, follow her profile, share her profile, and if you want to, order a piece to support. So yeah, that was like, man, it was more than a financial loss. Like, it was like a couple grand. It's like, not the end of the world, obviously. The loss of the revenue really sucks. More than that, it was like, this was a huge step up for Athena, and a huge emotional step up, a big proving ground to go into the biggest show around the area, where people have to pay to get in. To you have to buy tickets to get in there, and it's a juried show, and there's a real opportunity. Stowe is a very wealthy tourist community here in Vermont. It's about a half an hour, 45 minutes away, it's just a devastating blow to her, because she was so proud of herself. She worked so hard. She made these giant like paper flowers for her booth to like attract people to it, like bees. Like, she did so much. I mean, her work is amazing if you've ever seen it. Her metalsmithing skills are amazing. It's all hand done silversmithing with stones inlaid and all these different things. Athena is an incredible artist, and it's just really devastating, like, just really emotionally, psychologically, to be really keyed up for this, and be so prepared, and have invested so much time, energy, and money, and expectation, and then just to have the rug swept out from under you. And on top of that, the people that run the show have been pretty adversarial, as far as like, hey, is there insurance that can cover some of these losses? Can we organize? Will you guys help us, in any kind of way, shape, or form? And the organizers have been pretty adversarial. I think they're probably worried about litigation or something like that. So, more bad luck and trouble for the bandits, y'all. And, unfortunately, more than just us in this event. There's hundreds of exhibitors that, have been affected by this. And unfortunately, some of the people had their actual physical goods in this thing. And, one of these people had all their paintings in there. $18,000 worth of their paintings got completely destroyed. We were just walking through the rubble. It was really like it was a hurricane type of scene. I know there's like, legit hurricanes going around, and shout out to everybody in that. It just looked like that. It was just this giant, everything was just broken and strewn and bent and crumpled and crushed, and there was just a mountain of like crushed, pop-up tents over here that were being taken out and thrown in a pile. It was very, very discouraging, very sad scene. It was very emotional, and more bad luck and trouble, y'all. So, send us your good vibes. We can certainly use it, but hey, we've been through a lot of stuff before, and the great thing about being on your path, knowing who you are, knowing what your goals are, knowing what your vision is you pick up the pieces and you get back to work, right? So that's exactly what Athena's been doing. She's been kind of advocating for the artists in this mix. She's been talking to the local news outlets, and she's been trying to raise awareness about what's been going on, and trying to get, trying to gather up the different people who were affected by it, and maybe get like a GoFundMe going or something like that. So there's lots of stuff going on, y'all. Holy cow! My mom was up for the weekend. Momma Shrimp was up, hanging out, and that was really great. We actually had like an epic weekend with my mom. Of course, this was a very different weekend than we thought. We were gearing up. Athena had gone in, early on Saturday, before she sort of realized partway through as she was headed there, what had happened. And we were shortly going to head over and go see her show. We didn't even get to see her setup because we didn't go on Friday. We were going to go on Saturday. That's like the peak day, the middle day. That's the big day. So we were all geared up to go see it, cheer on mom, and cheer on Athena, and cheer on, the kids cheering on their mom and seeing her big show. And it was really, really sad that we didn't get to see it. I'm just really bummed that we didn't just go Friday. So, but yeah, hanging out with my mom over the weekend was good. You know, we've been having this ongoing conversation even before I got the Ghostshrimp National Forest. You know, my vision has always been to make a play, to get this place as an opportunity for my family to really congregate. I've really always seen this as the family property. And, you know, it hasn't quite manifested in that way, the way I would have liked or the way I envisioned. It's obviously been amazing for the Bandit family. And my parents have come up quite a bit. My siblings kind of less. They're more indoor cats. You know, they're not as much more into the outdoor, you know, rural vibe. And you know, they come up and hang out once in a while. But, you know, my mom has always been, you know, Vermont is her favorite place. She went to UVM. My grandparents lived in Vermont for a while, over in Burlington, and my mom has always spent a lot of time here. This has always been her favorite place. And you know, we've always been talking about, you know, my parents maybe building a place here, or, you know, my parents would spend a lot of time here and come up pretty regularly and hang out. And over this weekend, you know, with my, you know, my grandma recently having the heart attack and stuff and being 98, and, you know, she's really pulling to live to 100, but, you know, you can kind of see probably the light at the end of the tunnel there with my grandma in the best way, because she is like, my grandma is an amazing lady. She is my inspiration for, you know, where I get my relentless optimism, where I get my irrational optimism, where I get my idealism, you know, through my mother as well. You know, my mom is a real, you know, optimist and idealist in a lot of ways, and a very positive person. And, you know, I realize more and more through the course of my life that my grandma is really the source of that for our family. And she's really rock solid, but, you know, she's definitely like, you know, she's coming to the end of her life, a great life. I mean, man, she's really lived it up, and she's 98. And so, you know, we're starting to really think more about, with these last round of heart attacks and stuff, I think my mom's really starting to think about what the next chapter is after, you know, she's done caring for my grandma. And, you know, she had a decade of my grandpa being very ill and dying, my dad being very ill and dying, my grandma being very elderly and, you know, coming to the end of her life in that process. So for the last decade, my mom's really been caretaking. And, you know, now she's starting to set her sights on, you know, kind of back on herself and what her, you know, my grandma now has a fully assisted living set up at the place where she lives. My grandma, luckily, is very financially set up from her and my grandpa's life. And so she's living in a very nice elderly community. And now with her extra needs, she now has full-time, round-the-clock care available to her right at the place, so my mom doesn't have to do as much of that, which is great, because my mom's really getting run down. And if anybody has a parent taking care of an elder, or maybe you're taking care of somebody, you know, you can probably relate to that. But my mom's feeling just run down and burnt out. And, you know, I've always really been, you know, advocating for her to, you know, make sure she's, you know, focusing on her own self-care and the vision of, you know, where she's going to be and where she's going. And this weekend, we really had some big breakthroughs in you know, refining the vision of her kind of building a little wing onto our house here, and, you know, having her own spot here. She's starting to think about what she's going to do with her house, whether she's going to sell it off at a certain point or rent it out, or, you know, what's going to happen with that. I think she should keep it and rent it as income, because she doesn't have a tremendous amount of passive income in her life through retirement right now. So, and we all know costs are going up, y'all. Oh, this is adult time. This is adult corner. This is adult talk today, guys. Holy cow. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day, by the way, y'all. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Holy cow. Yesterday, it's been such a whirlwind. I didn't even know what day it was. I was supposed to meet with the CEO of Cycling Frog yesterday about some more collaboration and partnership stuff, and I totally spaced out. But But yeah, my mom was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, took off Monday, and we really kind of solidified this vision of, right now we're going to start kind of planning the wing that she's going to build onto the house and have her own little apartment here. And, her vision of her dream life going forward, she's in her 70s now, is that she's going to kind of split time between, all my siblings. My sister has a house, my brother has a house. They have space for her that she can kind of hang in, and hopefully they will be game to allow her to kind of like make that space her own, but we are really down for that. I've always said that my parents are welcome, everyone in my family is welcome to live here, build a house here, whatever they want. This is just the land of opportunity as far as I'm concerned, literally. So my mom is really finally feeling like this has always kind of been her dream. It wasn't always, I think my dad maybe a little less so, but things being what they are now, and my mom sort of being really lonely and not wanting to live alone and stuff, I'm like, hey mom, this is a time where, as we are, looking ahead to the next chapter that might be kind of coming up sooner than we think, of her looking at her future, without other people attached to it. What does that look like? Where is she? What's she doing? And this is the place that I think she's going to be, spending a good amount of her time, which I'm really happy about. Really want to, I really love the idea of a multi-generational household. Multi-generational, multi-family property has always been my vision of this. It's really turned into more of a like friendship property, like sharing this space with amazing friends and other artists and all the events we've done. It's funny how that works. Like when we say the dream life is going to be more amazing than you could have realized, but it's also going to be different than you realize, right? When I first envisioned this property, I really envisioned it more like mostly my family being around, my family building little cottages here, everybody spending a lot of time here, friends coming here, and certainly my friends have come up a bunch, and my family a bit, and then, much more just all the events that we've held here. And the more than I ever could have imagined part is all the Ghost Scout stuff, the Ghost Fest stuff, the residency stuff, all that stuff has been, I had an inkling of what it could be, but I had no idea what it was going to turn into, so that aspect of the dream life of going in and seeing really what will unfold, and letting it, going with the flow and following where it goes. So, it being way greater than I ever could have imagined, way more amazing than I ever could have imagined, but looking different, right? So that's the thing. If you go into a dream and try to control it, just like when you're drawing a piece, if you're drawing a piece and it's evolving in this amazing way, but it's different than you thought, and you're trying to rein it back in and control it, it's going to turn out to be lesser than. But if you allow it, if you open up and just allow the possibilities of the universe to come in and inhabit what you've opened up here, amazing, amazing things will happen. So far, it's been most of the energy here has been all the event stuff and all the artist stuff and stuff like that. But this is a really cool turn of events here where my mom is now, really the visions are overlapping. My mom's always had the hope and desire that she could end up here. And now the visions are really starting to overlap where we're really starting to, this weekend kicked off the plan of, okay, now we're actually ready to start designing the space that mom's going to live in. The space that mom's going to have here, the grandma wing, Grandma Shrimp, Casa de Grandma Shrimp, Casa de Camarones Abuelas, right? What is it? Abuelos de Camina? Abuela de Camina. What is shrimp? Is it Camarones? Is that shrimp? Camaranas? So, wow. And as you can see, I mean, really my mind is reeling. It was like, again, just like life is continuing to keep my head on a swivel, just but I'm almost like settled into it now. Like I said the other day, I go, Athena, me and Athena were talking about it. I think I told y'all this, that I'm just like buckled up, helmets on right now. I'm just I'm just fucking locked in, and I'm like, okay, this is the bumpy. We're in a turbulent section right now. We're in a bumpy section right now, but we've been rocked by it. We've been reeling from it, but now I'm like, all right, now is the championship rounds here. I'm biting down on my mouthpiece. I'm buckling down. I'm fucking hunkering down in this wild ass hurricane that's raging around us, and we are still getting shit done. I have sketched out over just even the weekend. I probably did like 20 plus pages of sketches for Hollow Earth, which was awesome. Just really diving into that. I'm getting into all the real deep dive research phase now that I'm fully turning my attention, or well, not fully is, I still got the puzzle on my desk, and so I got the final template for the puzzle. I got the mechanics of it working with the new scripts. Now I got to migrate all the art over to this new template and then fine tune it and then finish it up. I'd say the puzzle's like I don't remember if I gave a number before, but we're getting insanely close. It's like we're in the last 5% for sure of effort, and most of the heavy lifting's been done. Right now it's like doing the final technical composing of the puzzle and how the mechanics are going to work, because y'all know the sections swap. So they got to work in parts of the puzzle have to work in two different formations, and then with the middle reveal part. If you don't know about the magic puzzles, check them out; they're super cool. So really, rounding the corner on putting the finishing touches on that in this final pass, and just jumping whole hog into the new book, the new coloring book, and really researching all the Hollow Earth stuff, getting into Agartha, getting into Shambhala, getting into all the insane lore. It's crazy how every freaking culture has mythology about sky people and inner earth civilizations, right? Literally, I think every single mythological tradition has those elements, right? Those stories, those same origin stories, those same creation stories. And the Hollow Earth mythology, as y'all know, is the stuff I'm most obsessed with. And this new book is going to really focus on that, center around that. We never approach it in the way that other people would. It's not going to be what you expect. It's not going to be what I expect. I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to take it to places that I can't even imagine, right? I start with where everybody would start, and then I take it to where nobody would possibly take this shit. So very excited about that. And, just diving in, sketching that up. I'm going to jump into basically splitting my day between in this next run here of splitting my time between working on this new book and working on this puzzle. Again, just having to turn down more and more work. As always, I have 8-Bit hit me up to do their holiday card. Thank y'all. Y'all are the best. Unfortunately, I can't, but they booked me already to do their holiday card for next year, next October, for their 20th anniversary. So that's going to be an epic one. So, continuing to fill up the schedule for next year as we are just wrapping up all the work we've got scheduled in front of us. I mean, this book is going to carry over into 2025. It is due in February, and this puzzle we're going to get it done before the end of the year, y'all. We got to. This puzzle is going to be so epic. It is absolute magnum opus. This puzzle is going to be one of my absolute legacy pieces. I told y'all it's an homage to my kids' childhood. It's going to be a very special piece, really dedicated to them. So it's we got to make it top notch, but yeah, just really digging in. Yesterday we were just like decompressing, and I spent the whole day on the couch with the iPad watching, different Hollow Earth mythology stuff, and looking at all these caves, the largest caves in the world and the craziest caves in the world. Watching all about this crazy cave called, is it Don Song or Dong Soon or something? This cave in Vietnam. It's like the largest cave in the world. I think there's a couple caves that are kind of claiming to be the largest in the world. Depends on the metrics, whether it's deepest, longest, biggest, volume, and stuff like that. But man, caves have always really fascinated me. I'll tell you, the nostalgia of caves, of hidden civilizations, of Hollow Earth has always been in my mind. In 6th grade, we did a caving unit. Shout out to Mr. B, where we designed our own cave. We studied caves. We designed our own cave. We went caving in limestone caves in Massachusetts, where you're just like driving on this fucking road in the middle of nowhere. You got to know where to park. There's no signs. You walk into the woods a little bit. There's just a hole in the freaking ground. You go down in there, and all of a sudden you're squeezing into these little caverns and going into little other chambers underground and stuff. Absolutely wild, y'all. I mean, if you want to have your mind blown, dig into all the Hollow Earth stuff, because there's so many civilization. Like literally everybody has those stories, and there is a lot going on there. It will really get your gears turning. It will really it's like the ultimate. It's the ultimate imaginary, if you think about all the tropes about treasures in caves, dragons in caves, and hidden cities and other dimensions, and gods being, the utopia in Earth, a civilization of gods in the Earth, civilizations disappearing from the surface into the Earth. Ancient beings coming out of the earth, ancient prophecies of, Shambhala will return, at a certain point and restore peace to the planet. There are just so many. Every tradition has these amazing, amazing myths. Dig into those stories. It really kind of, that's, I think, another part of getting in touch with your intuition and imagination and creativity is tapping into, this is, there's nothing more intuitive and imaginative and creative and nostalgic than the creation mythologies of humanity. And, people think of the word myth and the word mythology as meaning fake. I couldn't agree less with you. I think mythology is realer than real. I think it represents, although, elements of it are a story and elements of it are to convey something in a different way than just the absolute reality of it. Sometimes it's meant to actually mask the more amazing underlying reality of it. But mythology is truer than true, right? There is no such thing as truth. There is no such thing as fact. These are all hypothesis, best guesses, and perspectives, right? Because everything is viewed through the very tiny lens of human perception, right? We have a certain amount of hearing, we have a certain amount of smell, we have a certain amount of sight, we have a certain amount of deduction abilities, but even your very limits, right? Even understanding concepts like infinity, even understanding a lot of the concepts that we use in our lives, our brains can't really even comprehend. We have to take them on a hypothetical basis, right? We have to accept that they could be real, even though we can't really even conceive of it. And we know that, dogs can smell, completely different way, hear in a completely different way, that birds can see in a completely different way than us, that insects and fish have completely different vision than us, seeing ultraviolet spectrum, seeing different spectrums than us, that Wi-Fi and radiation and all these things are around us undetectable, right? There are all these things that we can that are completely beyond our senses of perception. Some things are in our senses of perception. Some things are on the edge of our senses of perception that come in and out. And that's a lot of what we like to talk about, right? That in-between space, that in-between realm. And I think that's a lot of the mythology is built on what's going on with that in-between realm and what it's telling us about those unseen realms, right? The realms of the spirit world, the realms of other creatures, other intelligences, older gods, older civilizations, right? There's so much we don't know. To assume that we do know anything for sure, I would say, is foolish. I would say is folly. But I couldn't be more inspired. I couldn't be more excited, even though we've had bad luck and trouble just fucking all through this late summer and fall, y'all. I'm not letting it rattle me, right? Sometimes these storms come around. We are locked in. We are buckled in. We are here to execute the dream plan here. Oh, also, I will make another announcement about this, but the workshop is officially going to be postponed till the winter. The fall workshop still only has 4 spots filled for whatever reason. And shout out to the people that did sign up. Hang tight. It is definitely not canceled. It is never canceled. We are postponing this thing. 3 months for this season. It won't happen in the fall anymore. Round 15 will be happening in the winter. We will definitely fill it. If we don't fill it, we will just run it with the people in it, right? Maybe we'll open it up to some alumni to come in and hang out and participate or something like that. But we will figure out a way to just go forward with it. We won't postpone it again. I mean, unless there's something that where I can't even show up for it. But right now, we just, for the sake of the power of the workshop, the workshop is typically 12 spots. They typically sell out right away or way before we're going to start. I think it's some kind of weird combination of the algorithms being weird and, the inflation and the economy right now. I know that, there's so many crazy things going on right now. Who knows exactly why it is? Who knows exactly what it is? But usually this workshop is in high demand. And right now we can't give these. Well, I'm sure we could give the spots away, but we weren't able to fill it up. But we have had to reschedule it once before when my dad passed, when he was passing. And then we rescheduled it and we got it done. So we will do the same thing. I will see you in the new year. For the people that signed up for it. In the meantime, stay tuned to Shrimp for Breakfast. Stay tuned for the podcast, which is still coming, y'all. There was no way we were going to do the podcast this weekend. I mean, this was just an absolute shit show. It would have been a very sad podcast if we did it this weekend, so we didn't do that. I had visions of getting my mom on there and it would have been cool in a way to get my mom on there talking about the vision of what we're doing here, but there was just so much going on. It was, again, very devastating, spinning our brain around. So we will try once again this week to get the podcast. Don't worry, y'all. We will get it in the routine. It's hard to work things into the routine, but once they are in the routine, it's a lot easier to hit them. I've been really getting momentum and getting rolling with these shrimp for breakfast. I'm loving this. I'm going to continue this. We didn't do it yesterday because, it was a day off and everything was just fucked yesterday. So we got today, we'll hit tomorrow, we'll hit Friday, and hopefully we'll get a podcast done this week, and we will getting that up this weekend. I cannot wait. I can really feel it getting closer and closer and manifesting, and I really do feel the need to get this voice broadcasting from another dimension again, right? So hang tight. I'm really sorry that somehow we weren't able to fill it this time, but we will do it. In the meantime, stay tuned and hit those sketchbooks, right? Always hitting the sketchbooks, y'all. I'm thinking of doing, since we're not doing the workshop, definitely going to make it easier to do the podcast in that time frame and to get it going again in this fall slot. And also getting some, something else going on. I don't know if it's going to be the illustration contest, bringing that back, but I really like the idea of, since we're not going to be doing the workshop, kind of getting some more interactive stuff going, getting some more prompts, some more call and response type of stuff, some more call to action stuff going on. So I think we're going to get that, maybe a coloring club with the coloring book, some group coloring stuff going on. So stay tuned. We're going to cook up some really fun stuff here. And I'm going to use this tolerance break to really clear my mind and expand my vision. There's different sorts of vision. The plant intelligence vision is incredibly powerful, but staying in one zone all the time is, has its limitations. So I'm really excited to kind of take a little tolerance break and get it into a different frame of mind and see what kind of inspiration and see what kind of ideas will strike me in that frame of mind and go forward from there and see what's going on. So feeling very motivated, feeling very excited. And the greatest thing you can do, when you are feeling attacked by life, when you are feeling like you are in the middle of the hurricane of your life and life just won't cut you a break and, everything's, you're just being pelted from all sides with shit like we've felt over the last, use it to get determined. Don't use it to get wigged out. Don't use it to get scared. Don't use it to retract. Don't use it to run away. Use it to fucking grab those pieces, put them on you, build that armor, fucking lock in, and attack. So you are going to see me coming on the offensive, getting proactive, getting strategic, and making some moves here to not let outside forces choose my course of action, right? you're really going to watch me here get more productive and offensive out here and proactive about what I can do to change our fortunes, because the bandits started from the bottom. Now we here, y'all. We are never afraid to grind it out. We're never afraid to claw it out. We're never afraid to get dirty, to get muddy, to get knocked down and get back up again, because we have been there so many times before. We have started from scratch as a family in the wilderness, in a tent with a baby, and we've made all of this, so we can fucking do anything, right? And that's the beauty of chasing the dream life, of being willing to sacrifice everything for that passionate dream life. Then you are never afraid to lose, because you cannot lose. The only way to lose is to give up. And we have faced all odds, and we have never given up, and we will never give up. And we are here to remind you that you are just like us. We are all the same, y'all. We have more in common than we ever had in conflict. We are all made of the same stuff. We are made of the magical ingredients, the magical Lego set of the universe. And your attitude, your mentality is what defines you, not what happens to you, but what you do with it. Right? And that's what I realized when I broke my feet when I was fucking 17 or whatever years old. And that changed my entire life. That changed who I was. I transformed in that moment into the modern path of the Ghostshrimp. It is the origin story of Ghostshrimp. That is the catalyst moment. That is Bruce Wayne's parents being murdered for me. It's breaking every bone in both my feet and my ankle and my wrist. And being in a wheelchair and being told I might never walk again. That's my origin story, y'all. Right? That is the catalyst moment where it all began. And I remember what that felt like. And I know that I was at the bottom of the abyss. And I know that I fucking lit a match and started a fire and fucking burned my way back to my fucking glory as the Phoenix, baby. Shrimp Phoenix. So salute to all my creative cousins out there, all my productive, proactive artists out there. Everything is a test. Everything is a challenge to see if you are really down for this life, to see if you are really all in on this life. If you want an out, there's the door. Beat it. Because we are here not just to take part, y'all. We are here to take over. There's a little shrimp for breakfast, y'all. Woo! See ya when we see ya.